you. Hey everybody, I came on here a little bit early. Um, I know the live was scheduled for 10 a.m. It's like 9:54. Um, but I'm ready to go live, and I actually have things to do. Like I have something right after this, so if I get started earlier, that means I get finished earlier. And yeah. Um, Also, don't mind my eye. It's my eyes swollen. I tried to put on the glasses to like distract from it a little bit, but I feel like it just makes it look more apparent. But whatever. Um, so yeah, welcome in, welcome in. If you're new to, welcome. If you're new to my channel, welcome back. If you're not, I am Torrance Marshall. So I'm the host, the person who the channel belongs to. Um, And I know I've been inconsistent on YouTube. I've been inconsistent on YouTube since I freaking started YouTube, which is not great. I'm way more consistent on short form platforms. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, those three platforms mostly. And you can find me there at The Taurus Marshall as well. So if you want to see a little bit more of like what I got going on, follow me there. I do upload on YouTube Shorts as well though. So yeah. But I uploaded 2 weeks ago announcing the arrival of my baby. Um, and I did not mean to take a 2 week break. I literally wouldn't come right back, like right back with a video. So what I did, I'm just giving this disclaimer before I get into the story time. But I bought a camera because I'm on my phone and I have video ideas and I just don't have enough storage on here. And I use this phone for short form content and I use it for like personal things as well. So I just don't always have a lot of storage for long form content and then also editing it and uploading it. It's just a lot. So I bought a camera off of TikTok shop. It's like the DJI dupe and not the extra muse because the extra muse is only like $200 cheaper than the DJI. So I feel like if I'm gonna get the extra muse, I'll just spend the extra 200 and get the DJI. But no, I got the $30 dupe um, on TikTok shop just to kind of see. I mean, I heard good things about it, but I wanted to see for myself, even though I don't have high hopes for a $30 camera. Um, but I bought it and it took 11 days to get here. So that's one reason why I hadn't uploaded in a while. And then I did film, I have a whole vlog filmed on the camera, and I don't have the right card reader to get the footage off the SD card. So now I have to get another card reader so I can upload it, the clips, onto my computer, edit it, and upload it. I'm not gonna lie, like it's not gonna be the best quality, but I don't know. I just wanted something specifically for YouTube so that I can like upload more because I am really excited to be back on YouTube and I have a lot to talk about and a lot of things I want to film. So yeah, so I'm going live today because I did want to film a labor and delivery story time, but I was like, why not just go live? I don't like editing sit down videos that much, to be honest. So let's just go live and just chat. So before we get into the actual labor and delivery, let's talk about the pregnancy a little bit. So I got pregnant in September. I know exactly when I got pregnant. Was I trying? No, but I was there. I know what happened. Okay, so I got pregnant at the end of September. I'm 31 years old. Just to give like some background. Hi, how you doing? Just to give some background. I'm 31 years old. So I have two other children, but I had those children in my early 20s. So my age kind of plays a bit of a factor here, but like not really. But anyways, so I'm 31 years old. Got pregnant at the end of September, and like I just took a test when I knew I could take a test. Like I knew I was pregnant. I'm just like, let's just wait until I'm a couple weeks and I can take a test. So I found out I was pregnant, probably like 3 weeks pregnant. Um, didn't feel anything until about maybe 5, 6 weeks. Then morning sickness set in, and due to personal circumstances, I was not able to get in to like the OB until I was about 5 months, 4 or 5 months. So we had to play a lot of catch up when I did go to the OB. But when I went to the OB, Um, the cameras and landscape mode because this is how I want to go live. Is it distracting? Do you not like it like that? I like it like this. Sorry. I guess people do go live this way, but I just don't like that. Maybe I'll fix it. But I already got this set up. I'm sorry. I'll know for next live. Um, but anyways, so the baby's sleeping. So if you hear her in the back, she's fidgeting and things. Um, but yeah, I went to the OB at 5 months. We did all of my testing and things like that, and I was pretty healthy. The only issue I had was like low iron. So, which is the first. I never had that before with my other pregnancies, but I had low iron this time. So they just told me to take iron supplements on top of my prenatal. So that's what I did, and I continued to continue to go to my appointments after that when I was supposed to, and had a very uneventful pregnancy. Like nothing crazy happened. Pretty healthy. Like got the vaccines I was supposed to get and things like that. Um, so yeah. Now the OB I chose just because I was able to get in the fastest. I actually am seen at another gynecologist here where I live, but it was like too much work to get in to see them for pregnancy. So I just went to the one that I've been at, and that is important because um, had I known that they were gonna have me deliver at a different hospital than the one that's here, I probably wouldn't have gone there. And the hospital I delivered at is very significant to the story. So anyway, so I'm going to my appointments around like 36 weeks. Um, my OB mentions like inducing me, and I've never been induced before. I've always wanted to labor naturally. Um, with my last baby, I was scheduled for an induction because I was a week late, or it was 41 weeks. But by the time my induction came, I had already labored naturally. So, and again, it was only scheduled because I was late, not because of anything else. So, the fact that my midwife, she's a certified nurse midwife, um, just if you're gonna do that, just go OB, honestly, but or go get an actual regular midwife. But when she mentioned that, I kind of like brushed it off because she brushed it off. Like she mentioned it and just started talking about something else. So I took note of that, but I didn't really address it right then and there because I wasn't delivering the baby for a while. So I kind of just left it there, continued my appointments. But then around 38 weeks, yeah, 38 weeks, I went in for my appointment and my OB said, you know, um, what day works for you for the induction? And I was like, well, why are we doing an induction? Why am I getting induced? Like, because my pregnancy has been uneventful. I'm not high risk. I'm not like, there's nothing wrong with me. I am 31, but I'm not like late 30s, which that does make a difference. I know that if you're like 35 and up, they typically want to induce you just because of the age, but um, that wasn't really a concern. And her reasoning for wanting to induce me was, oh, like your BMI. And I was like, I don't understand that because everyone gains weight when they're pregnant, so I don't really understand what the BMI has to do with it. Like, it just didn't sound like a sound enough reason for me, because I really wanted to labor naturally, but whatever. So I went ahead and let her schedule the induction, but I really wasn't, like, I really had made up in my mind that I was going to go. So I said, okay, I had things to do. Okay, I literally had things to do literally up until the day this girl was born. So I had things to do. So of the day of my induction, I was supposed to be induced at 6 a.m. Mind you, the hospital is 40 minutes away. Okay, so it's not down the street. There is a hospital that's like 10 minutes from me. Had I been induced at that hospital, I probably just would have went. But I had to, like, my grandma wanted to be there while I had my baby. So I had to get my grandma here. And then I still had to call the hospital to see if there was any beds. So that ended up not happening the day of the induction. And ended up just like going to work or whatever. And that was what it was. So I really didn't think anything of it. I kept, excuse me, doing what I needed to do to try to labor naturally. So drinking the teas, drinking the okra water, walking, doing the mouth circuits and things like that. Like I did everything. Um, yeah, why not? Oh, hold on. No, I don't want to do that. Take it away. I'm sorry. Something popped up and I don't want to like. There we go. You know what? It's okay. We're just gonna ignore it. Um, oh, I don't want to touch that. I'm gonna leave it alone. Anyways, what was that? Yeah, I kept doing things naturally to be able to like progress. I also had been contracting for a few weeks, so I just assumed that I was at least 3 4 centimeters already. So I was like, she's gonna come. My grandma was like, this is your third baby, so she's probably gonna come really fast. And so I was like, okay, this is gonna be like a cakewalk. But like another week goes by, and at this point, it's like, okay, I'm full term now. So I called the hospital to try to reschedule my induction. They said, oh, your doctor has to do it. And so I called my doctor's office, and I'm thinking that they're gonna schedule me for like a few days just to give me a little bit more time. No, they scheduled me the very next day. So when I called the OB to reschedule the induction, it was Thursday, July the 3rd. They scheduled me for Friday, July the 4th. So I said, okay, again at like 6 in the morning, but again, I have to call up there to see if they have any beds. So me and my grandma made preparations. I called them that Friday morning and they said they didn't have any beds. No, they said they didn't have enough doctors. I guess it was a holiday, so whatever. So they didn't have enough doctors. They said call back around 9. So I said, okay. Call back around 9. Still not enough doctors. They didn't want me to come in. And she was like, call back around like noon or we'll call you back. We have your information here. And I was kind of telling them it's inconvenient because they are 40 minutes away from me and I'm not driving and my grandma's not driving. So I had to set up transportation to get there through insurance. And if you know, scheduling rides through transportation, like they usually need some sort of like couple days notice before they do that. There are exceptions for emergencies, but it's not a guarantee that they will set that up for you. So I ended up I called to schedule a ride and then I meant to cancel it, but I actually fell asleep. So I woke up at like 1 and the transportation people had came and gone. I forgot to cancel it and nobody from the hospital called me. So I'm like, oh, I guess y'all don't want me to come in. So I called them at 1 and they said, oh, like, it's just not enough doctors. Like, today's not going to work. We'll call you tomorrow morning to let you know that you could come in if you can come in. So I was like, okay, um, sure, why not? So I spent the rest of the day kind of like cleaning my house, getting my house in order, just doing things that like I needed to do um, to prepare for the baby, you know? And then Saturday comes. Now, Saturday morning comes. I think they end up calling me around like 8 and they were like, hey, you could come in today. Like, can you get here in the next hour? And I'm like, well, no, I can't get there in the next hour because I just woke up and you're 40 minutes away, which means I would have to be ready in the next 20 minutes. And my grandma also is not here. My grandma lives like 10 minutes away from me, but she would have to get to my house and then I would have to set up transportation last minute yet again. And I just no showed on the last one, not intentionally, but so it's just a lot of things I had to do. So they were like, yeah, like try to get here in the next hour, two, and if you can't, then call back and let us know. And I was like, well, we can't really just keep playing phone tag and trying to see what works, what not. Because you guys, obviously, if you guys are available, I'm available when I'm available, but I need a certain amount of notice. I let them know that. And they were like, yeah, we understand, but this is just how, blah, blah. Mind you, I really didn't want to deliver at this hospital, not even because it's 40 minutes away. I mean, that definitely played a part. But I didn't really want to deliver there because, I don't know, I've been to the hospital near me And I like the service there. I like the doctors and the nurse. I just felt more comfortable there. I have a landlord, and we were pregnant at the same time. She had her baby like 3 weeks before me, and she delivered at the hospital near us. So, and she had a pretty good experience. So I was like, yeah, like I want to deliver there, but I wouldn't be able to deliver there unless I went into labor naturally, like spontaneously. But because I'm like scheduled for an induction, it's like I have to go to this hospital. But my landlord, I think she had like her sister, her friend, or somebody delivered there, and they had a good experience. So I was like, it is what it is. Let me just go. So, um, I get my grandma here. I call. I had to call my insurance like 3 different times to set up a ride because the first time I was on the phone with a very snarky agent, and she was just very rude and just like very like smart mouthy. And I was like, lady, do you know that I'm finna try to have a baby and you getting smart with me for what? So, I ended up just hanging up on her. So I asked for a higher up, and she was like, well, I'm not gonna transfer you to higher up, but you can end the call and call back. So that's what I did. I just I just hung up and called back because I just didn't have time for that. But I was like, the nerve of you to be rude to me when I'm trying to, like I'm calling you for a reason. But whatever. I'll call back a second time, and this lady actually is able to get me a ride within like 30 minutes. It was like 9 something, and the ride was supposed to pick me and my grandma up at 10. So I was like, okay, perfect. My grandma had just got there. My bag and stuff was ready. We was getting the car seat. We got everything we were supposed to get to go. And then I get a text saying, hey, your ride has been rescheduled for 12 o'clock. And I'm like, well, my ride can't be rescheduled for 12 o'clock because that's too late. Like, I'm afraid that if I wait too late and I try to go there, they're going to say, oh, we don't have enough beds, or we don't have enough. Like, I'm not trying to get turned around. I'm trying to get there as soon as I possibly can. I did call them when the ride officially got confirmed for 10, say, hey, is that okay? I leave now and I get there around this time. They say yes. But waiting another 2 hours, there's no guarantee that they'd be able to see me. And I just was fed up with the whole process. I just wanted to get in, had a baby, and then leave. Okay. So it's now, at this point, it's Saturday, July 5th. So I get the text. I call back. I'm like, hey, my ride was rescheduled for 12 o'clock. I need you to move back up because I need to get to the hospital like now. And so the guy was like trying to fix it, and the call ended up dropping, or he hung up on me. So I don't know what happened, but the call ends. And I just get really fed up. So at this point, I'm like, just forget it. I'll just pay for it. I'll just Uber us there. It's probably more convenient like that anyway, but whatever. So I order the Uber. We leave out, and we get to the hospital around, I don't remember the time. It had to be like 11 something. It's like, yeah, it was like 11. No, 10 something? 10, 11, whatever. Somewhere around there. So I get to the hospital, and now, mind you, let me bring this up. Mind you, I said earlier in my pregnancy I had low iron, right? And I also had another appointment where they checked my iron. It was kind of low, but that was for something different. That wasn't for like my OB appointment. So probably like a month prior to this, I asked the nurse, because you see the nurse when you see the doctor. So I asked the nurse, like, hey, like, is there a way that we can check my iron to make sure that it's like sufficient before I go into labor? Because I don't want to have any iron infusions. I don't want any issues, basically. And she was like, okay, yeah, like I'll put that in for the doctor, and she'll order the labs for you. So I was like, okay. And then the doctor came in, and she was about to like end the appointment. And then I was like, hey, like, did the nurse mention that I wanted to check my iron before I had the baby? She was like, oh, yeah, like, but I see that you're taking an iron supplement. Are you still taking that? I was like, yeah, I'm taking a prenatal with iron, and I'm taking an additional iron supplement. And I do feel better because I could tell the difference when I wasn't taking it when I was. But I was like, I still just want to know where my iron levels are before we have a baby. She was like, oh, you're probably fine taking this for a couple months. You're fine. And she left it at that and it ended the appointment. And I was kind of just like, Okay, I guess I get it, but why don't y'all just do the labs? Like, my insurance paid for it, so just do the labs, you know? But whatever. So, when I get to the hospital, before they do anything, I let them know about the iron and that I wanted to check that. That I wanted to check my iron levels before we started. So the lady's like, "Oh, okay." So we get in. They just strap me up to all these machines, getting insurance, ask me a bunch of questions, and they give me the IV. And when they give me the IV, they do take like some labs or something. And the lady comes back and she says, "Oh, like your blood levels are whatever, whatever." Basically, like I'm good. Like I don't have low iron anymore. So I said, "Okay, cool, perfect." So I get that confirmation, and around 12, we have they let me eat lunch or whatever. So I ate lunch at the hospital, and then around 1 o'clock, we started the pitocin, started the induction. So they strapped me up to like this little mobile device, so that didn't have to stay in bed. They wanted me to get up and walk around and do things to kind of speed up the process. So that's what I did. Me and my grandma, we walked around the hospital, the maternity ward. There was a bouncy ball in there, so I bounced on the ball, did some figure eights, just some wiggling around in my hips. And I was starting to feel some contractions, but it wasn't anything too crazy. Um, so then I was kind of sleepy because again, I've been up for a minute. I think I did naturally wake up around like 6, just because pregnancy, you know. So I was kind of tired, so I got in the bed to try to take a nap. Like baby came, because once the baby comes, child, what is sleep? So I tried to get to bed to take a nap, and then I couldn't really go to sleep, so I turned on the TV. It was like watching some movies. My grandma was reading books, and I think she was talking to my mom and maybe somebody else, kind of just updated them on what was happening. Because my mom is not here. My mom she moved like several states away, so she wasn't able to be there. But she, just wanted to see how everything was going. So I'm watching the movie. The contractions are starting to pick up some. The nurse comes in ever so often to check me. Also, they check to see how dilated I was, and I think I was a 2. When I came in, I was 2 centimeters dilated. Now, mind you, I said I've been contracting for a few weeks. So all of that, just to only be 2 centimeters dilated, is crazy. But anyways, so they checked me. I'm 2 centimeters. So that's what I'm starting at. She comes in, she asks me some questions. She said, "Hey, don't try to like be super strong. If you feel you need the epidural, let us know, because it could be like an hour before you actually get the epidural." So I'm like, "Yeah, no. I've been here before," but I always try to thug it out as much as I can, because I've heard stories of women who got the epidural too early, and then when they needed the epidural, it kind of wore off or stopped working. So I was like, no, I'm gonna wait until I'm at a good spot, and then I'll get it. So things are going pretty well for the most part. Contractors are picking up. They're up in the pitocin like every 30 minutes or so, maybe even shorter. So at one point, she kept coming in every freaking like 10, 15 minutes of that, like up in the pitocin dosage. And the contractions were coming. Okay, they were like 2, 3 minutes apart, and I was feeling them, and they hurt, but they weren't like that bad. So I didn't think I had actually dilated as much as I did. But when they came to check me again, because at this point I was like, you know what, give me epidural. I don't care where I'm at. Just give it to me so that I can like relax. Because labor and delivery, or labor, really is like mental more than physical. I mean, it's definitely physical, but it's more so mental. And I just was kind of like too tired from everything that happened the past couple days to really kind of like lock in. Like if I was at a good spot to do that, I probably could have just not have epidural for a little bit longer. But I'm actually glad I got it when I did, because when they came to check me again, I was freaking 8 centimeters in a couple hours. I think it was like 4 hours or something. 4 or 5 hours. I went from 2 centimeters dilated to 8 in 4 or 5 hours with nothing. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I called for the epidural when I did. So I've got an epidural before. I've got the epidural both of my previous pregnancies or labors, and I didn't have any issues. When I got it with my first child, I didn't feel anything, like nothing. Actually, it was wonderful. And when I got it with my second child, I didn't feel like any pain, but I definitely felt the anesthesiologist trying to find where to put the thing, where to put the what, catheter. But it didn't hurt; it just kind of felt weird. But this time, that epidural, I feel like that hurt worse than freaking pushing the baby out. Like honestly, I felt everything. I like started screaming. I felt the lidocaine. It stung really bad. I feel like I'd never felt that before, not that I can remember. And then, oh, yeah, there's the baby. um, she's just fidgeting right now, I think. She might be waking up though, so I don't know. If she wakes up, I'll get her. But um, I felt the lidocaine stung bad, and I don't even feel like it numbed anything. I felt the needle go in my freaking back, okay, to put the catheter in. And I feel like he couldn't find where to put it at. So he's literally like fidgeting around in my back for like 20 minutes. I don't know if it was 20 minutes. It felt like a long time though. Like he didn't take it out and put it back in. He didn't want to do that, but he just kept like moving the needle. And then when he found a good place for the needle, he put in the catheter and he kept moving around the catheter. And my grandma, like, cause I was freaking out. Like I was screaming. I was like, "Oh my God, are you done?" Like fussing at him. And my grandma she's a retired nurse, by the way. So that's another reason why I liked her being there. But she was like trying to keep me calm and like holding me in place so that I didn't move. And yeah. So after about 20 minutes, what felt like 20 minutes, we finally get the epidural together. He starts dispensing the freaking medicine, and I'm starting to go numb. But I'm going more numb on one side than the other. Like the other side is getting numb, but it's like I can still very much like feel, but the other side is like numb. Okay, like it's just you know. And so they're rolling me around and stuff and moving me so that the medicine dispenses properly. And eventually, I do numb up like on both sides. And after that, I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be showtime. Like I'm gonna push this baby out. Like I'm 8 centimeters. I only have 2 more centimeters to be dilated. We finna have a baby. Actually, no, I'm lying. It's actually still July 4th. Yes, I'm tripping. It's actually still July 4th. So I'm thinking, okay, we finna have a 4th of July baby. Like she's finna be here. So, and it's like around this time, 6, 7 o'clock, no later than 8 o'clock. So like she's gonna be here. And so now I'm chilling because I'm like numbed up. My grandma's numbed up. She's not numbed up. She's chilling. She's chilling. I'm numbed up. And oops. What's going on? I think nothing. I think we're just watching TV. And like I can still feel pressure, but I don't feel pain. So I'm like, okay, cool. She's moving down. Like we're doing this. Cool, great. Then like my baby's heart rate, because the Pitocin is like all the way up now. So my baby's heart rate keeps like going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's low and it's high, it's low and it's high. So they have to keep coming in and moving me from side to side, different positions, sit this way, lay this way, to get her heart rate back to normal. And it's kind of freaking me out a little bit because it's like, this is why I didn't really want to be induced, okay? But whatever. So her heart rate's going up and down. My heart rate, I think, also went up a little bit, up and down a little bit, but not as bad as hers. She really was not taking to the Pitocin. So, what happened? We did that for like a couple hours, and then they stopped the Pitocin because she just was like, and I'm like kind of freaking out too because I'm like, I don't want a C-section. Like, I just don't want to be cut open. I'm sorry. I just don't. So to avoid that, they turn off the Pitocin, and then they let me just kind of labor naturally. But laboring naturally, like the contractions slow down. So I'm having one like every 10 minutes or something. So it's way slower. Okay, so but I'm able to kind of relax now, and the baby's heart rate is good. So we're kind of just relaxing. I'm trying to go to sleep a little bit, um, and then I start feeling very intense contractions. Like I could feel it in my butt. I could feel it. I could just feel it. So I'm like, oh, I think she's ready to come. Like, I think she's. And by this at this point, it's been like a couple hours since I got the epidural. Probably like 4 hours. I think it's like 10 o'clock at this point. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know, if I went from a 10 to a 2 to an 8 in like 4 or 5 hours, it's 10 o'clock. I should definitely be fully dilated now. Um, so they came in to check me, and I was still 8 or like pushing 9, almost 9 centimeters. So I'm like, there's no way I'm only 9 centimeters. And I was feeling so much pain. Like I literally was like squirming. I like was squeezing. I was very uncomfortable. And the doctor was like, there's no way she should feel this much pain and she's not ready to push. Like, so they had to, the anesthesiologist had to come back, and I guess he upped the dosage of the epidural, the medicine. And hold on, I think the baby's awake. Let me get her. Ooh. Hey, wait a minute. Come, come. Ooh, ooh. Hey, hey, sleepy girl. Hey, you hungry? I know you are. I know you're hungry. Okay, she's here now. And hold on, I'm trying to see. She's still very sleepy. I'm trying to see if she'll let me show you her. But hey, say hey, mama. Hey, baby. Yeah, I'm gonna feed her. So I had a bottle ready. So I knew she was gonna wake up. Um, here you go. You got some boogers. Anyway, um, what was that? So yeah, I'm feeling like intense pain, and the doctor is noticing that. She's like, that's not normal. She shouldn't be feeling this much pain. They cover up the dosage of the medicine in the epidural. And at this point, I'm feeling good. Like, I don't feel nothing. I think they still hadn't turned on the Pitocin, so we are having like a break. So I'm actually able to go to sleep. And I sleep from then to like 6 a.m. or almost 6 a.m. And then I wake up because I'm feeling pressure again. I'm feeling pain. The epidural, it's like it kind of took the edge off, but I still very much felt what was happening. So I was feeling pain, I was feeling pressure, and I was feeling like her head was coming out. Like I'm like her head is coming out. I could feel it. It's trying to. And I feel like if I push, she would absolutely shoot on the freaking table right now. So I got the doctors and the nurse, and I was like, hey, well, my grandma got them. She was like, hey, she feels like she needs to push. Like, y'all need to come check her. But they were moving so slow. I think it took them like 10 minutes to come in and like recheck. And when she checked, she's like, oh, yeah, her head is right there. I can see. And I'm like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you that. Every time I have a contraction, I can feel her head like pushing out. And then when the contraction's done, she goes back in. I can feel it. So they're getting me ready, and they put my legs up and everything. They're talking me through pushing. But by this point, I'm kind of like, I'm not exhausted, but I'm just like ready for it to be over. I did take a nap. Well, I got some sleep actually. Not even a nap, because I slept overnight. But I'm just like, let's just do this. So I'm pushing, and I feel her come out, and I feel her head come out. And now the head coming out was one thing. I felt it, but it wasn't like too bad. But them shoulders, oh my God, them shoulders. Yeah, so when her shoulders was like coming out, I felt like the ring of fire a little bit. It wasn't even the ring of fire. I just could feel like my uh area like just really stretching. And I started screaming like, "Get this baby out of me!" And then my grandma and the doctor was like, "Stop screaming!" And you're not supposed to scream because you are actively working against yourself. But I was literally like, "I don't care. Get this baby out." So once I pushed the shoulders out, they pulled her out. She was here. Okay, cool. I'm holding my baby. She's a beautiful, healthy 8 pounder. She was born at 8 pounds 1 ounce. Um, and you know, if you have a baby, you deliver the baby, and then you deliver the placenta, and they give you like those, I think, fundal massages. They massage your stomach and things like that to avoid clots or whatever. So I delivered the placenta. I feel it come out, and I feel like relief. And then they come and do the massages. They didn't do them as hard as like usual, but whatever. Um, do the massages. They wait for my epidural to wear off so I can like go to the bathroom, kind of get cleaned up a little bit, and go to the postpartum room. So by the time I have my baby, it is now Saturday, July 5th. Yeah, it is now it is now Saturday, July 5th in the morning. So she was born at 6:19 a.m. So I pushed her on like 20 minutes or so. Um, so I moved to the postpartum room and everything is like fine, like my grandma's fine, I'm fine. It's Sunday when she's born, and I went home Monday. I went home the next day. So everything after that was pretty uneventful. They checked the baby, they checked me, everything looks good, right? So they discharged the baby. They give me the regular like postpartum instructions, like, hey, if you pass clots this size, call in and blah 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 blah. So I said okay. So I go home the next day, and mind you, usually like when I have the baby and the epidural wears off, I feel pretty normal. Like I don't like I can walk like normal, I can move like normal, maybe a little soreness, but overall I'm usually okay. With her, I do not really feel that way. Like I feel like I still couldn't like use my core or engage my core like normal. I couldn't like sit up really without like I was moving like I was still pregnant basically. Like I had to like get up like this and like roll over. It just took a long time to just move and use my core. And I was like, that is really weird. I've never experienced that before. But in my mind, I'm like, maybe, she's the biggest baby I've delivered. My other babies were smaller. They were like 6 pounds. She's 8. And I'm also older now. I'm in my early 30s versus my early 20s when I had my other kids. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe my body is just like recovering a little bit slower. It just takes a bit more. It's also my third baby. So, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I'm just like, that is so weird. I literally still feel like I'm pregnant. Like, I don't feel the relief that I felt with my other pregnant, or yeah, my other labors. So, some days go by and like people are checking on me, like my mom, my grandma, like, people like that. And they finished. And I'm telling them, like, I still feel pregnant. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And one day, I think I'm in the kitchen and I can feel myself passing a clot. Mind you, usually when I have, like, for postpartum, I usually stop bleeding within the first week. But it's a week too, and I'm still very much bleeding. And I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm in the kitchen. I can feel a clot coming out, but it's kind of just like TMI. It's kind of just sitting in the diaper because I'm still wearing diaper. Not now, but at the time I was still wearing diapers. So the clot is just like sitting there. So I go to the bathroom to pass it. Um, I can't see like how big it is, but I can feel how big it is. So I called labor and delivery. I told them about the clot. They were like, "Oh, like, are you still bleeding? Like after that, is it heavy? Like, just ask some questions." I was like, "No, like the bleeding went back to like normal after that, but I just wanted to let you know that that was a pretty substantially sized clot. And they were like, oh, it's okay. Like, just keep an eye on it. And if you pass another clot or more clots or your bleeding increases, uh, come in. So I said, okay. So I kind of just sit down. I was kind of up and moving a lot um, after I had her. So it's like, maybe I just need to sit down. So I sat down and the bleeding went back to normal. Okay. Fast forward a couple days. And I'm in my bed, still have a diaper on. I'm next to my baby. She's sleeping. And I'm actually like at work. I'm like about to like clock out or whatever. And I'm on like TikTok and I laugh. And with that like push of my stomach, like, I feel a gush of freaking blood come out of me. Like, I feel clots and I feel liquid, like blood, like a lot. And I'm like, what the heck is that? At this point, it's day 10. I'm 10 days postpartum at this point. Um, Bleeding should not be what it felt like. So I go to the bathroom to pass it and like see what's going on. So I pull down. Oh my goodness, messy face. Hold on. Hold on. Messy face. Yeah. Come on. Okay. All right. Oop, there you go. But yeah. So I go to the bathroom. Don't mind my missing nail. I go to the bathroom to check to see what's happening. And when TMI, this is gonna get real graphic, y'all. When I pull my pants down in the diaper, the clots that were sitting like in the diaper like fell out. Like some fell in the toilet, but some fell on the floor while I was sitting down. And they were freaking huge. But when I looked at the clots, I'm like, they don't even look like clots. They look like flesh. Like they look like a small liver or something. So, and it's a lot of blood. It's a lot of blood. It's the blood splatter on the floor, on my shower curtain. It's a lot of blood in the toilet. And I'm like, what the frick? So I call labor and delivery. I tell them what happened. And they're like, oh, like, go to the hospital. But I asked them like, hey, like I delivered with you guys, but you're far away from me. Can I just go to the hospital here? They say, yeah, go to the hospital near you. Now, mind you, when I had the incident the other time, like a couple days prior, fire rescue came and like they checked my blood pressure and everything like that, and everything was fine. So this time, after I get confirmation from the hospital to go into the hospital, I'll call fire rescue again. And I'm like, hey, I need y'all to come here. Like I'm losing a lot of blood. Like it's not funny. It was actually really scary. So I sit on the toilet just to see like if I was gonna stop bleeding, and it slowed down to like a trickle, but it didn't stop. And then I get up because fire rescue's on the way, and so I'm trying to kind of like gather a bag for the baby, me and the baby, to go to the hospital. And when I get up and I put on a new diaper, obviously, and I put my pants back on, and then I start gushing again, and the blood is literally like going down my legs. Going down my legs. I'm bleeding through the diaper. I'm bleeding through my pants. It looks like a freaking crime scene. I'm walking in my room. Blood is showing on the floor. And I have never seen this much. I've never seen this before. I'm literally freaking out. So I'm trying to stay calm though, because I don't want to make it worse. My baby's sleeping and I'm ready. Like I'm ready by the door with my bag. Fire rescue comes and uh, we go to the hospital. And in the ambulance or whatever, the lady's trying not to freak me out, but I can tell by how she's wording things and how she's looking and moving. Um, things are not, numbers are not looking great. My heart rate is up. My blood pressure is also high. And she's like trying to like calm me down so I don't make it worse. But I'm still kind of freaking out. So I get to the hospital. I go to the ER. They put me in a room. They check that stuff. the entire time, my heart rate and blood pressure is elevated. We kind of get my blood pressure and heart rate down to somewhere like that's okay, like lower than what it was coming in, but it was still high, you know. And so, mind you, the whole time I'm still bleeding and passing clots in the ambulance on the way to the ER. Um, and I'm telling them like I feel like if I get up, if I stand up, blood and clots are just gonna start coming out. Like I'm holding it in place by sitting still, but the minute I move, it's gonna just come, and it's gonna come a lot. It's a lot. So they were like, okay, well, you're at the hospital, so now is like this is the place to for anything to happen, you know. So they bring in a little like bedside, uh, like a bedpan, a bedside toilet or whatever. Cause I'm feeling like kind of cramped. I'm like I feel like I have to go number two. So I'm really thinking I have to go number two, but I'm like I'm passing blood and I'm passing clots. So they're like, well, you can't go to the bathroom. So they brought in the little bedpan. I get up to sit on a bedpan. I pull down my pants and my diaper yet again. It's blood everywhere. Like it's actually kind of traumatic to think about. There's a lot of blood and there's clots in the bedpan because I actually do sit down on it, but there's blood still trickling down my legs. And from when I took off the diaper, it's a puddle of blood on the floor, like a puddle of dark red, fresh blood. You would have thought it was somebody just caught him. You know, like it was just a lot. So the nurses come in, they look at the floor, they're calling the doctor, they're calling everybody in there. They're not freaking out. They don't want to freak me out, but you can tell they're concerned. Like, yeah, call such and such, get him in here, get her. Da 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 da. They're putting in orders. They're moving extremely fast, and they're like, "Are you feeling lightheaded? Are you feeling?" And I'm feeling like fine, all things considered, but the situation is what it is. The numbers, my heart rate is up, blood pressure's up, and it's just a lot. So they order an ultrasound for me, and the ultrasound's kind of taking a while. I'm still passing blood and clots, but it's not as much, but it's still a lot. They come in, um, say hi, say hi. Oh, you are so cute. Hey, mama. Hi. Hi, baby. You're the cutest little thing, man. You are the cutest little thing. I love you. Yeah. Look. Uh-oh. Look. You see yourself? I'm sorry. Oh, no. Okay. um, yeah, so they ordered my ultrasound. I also texted my landlord because I wanted her before I left. I texted my landlord before I left because I wanted her to know what was happening, just because I live alone. So I just needed somebody to know what was going on with me. So we were texting and stuff. She's trying to see how I'm doing. Um, I get the ultrasound. I'm sorry. A OB doctor comes in and he's like, "Hey, there's still like some placenta in you, and there's like a lot of placenta in you." And I was like, "How is that even possible?" And they were like, he was like, "I don't know, like wherever you delivered at, they should have seen by the size of the placenta that you delivered that the whole thing didn't come. What, baby? That the whole thing didn't come out. And while you were numbed up on epidural, they could have just took care of that. But now, what? What? Gotta wait. What? Yeah. Yeah. Do you see you? You have a booger. You gotta get that booger out your nose. Yeah. Say hi. Oh, you smiling. You like that? Boogie. Boogie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to get it. I had to get it. You can't be on camera with boogies in your nose. Say hi, my name is Salome. I'm Salome Rose. I'm Salome Rose. I'm sorry. I just am so proud of like what I did. Um, where was I at? I'm almost done with story time. Um, yeah, so they give me the ultrasound. The doctor comes in and he's like, um, they left a lot of placenta in you. Like your uterus should be only like 1 centimeter thick. Your uterus is 6 centimeters thick, which means there's a lot of placenta and probably still like clots and things too. What? Um, so you're gonna have to have surgery to get rid of that, like to so that we can take the rest of it out. And I'm like freaking out because I don't want to freaking have surgery. Like, what? And so he was like, well, you can do what you want. We could give you a pill to take. You could pass it naturally at home. But he was like, because you're, what? Okay, you want to sit like this? Okay, you want to see. Because your heart rate is so high, like, if you were to come in again, it's a high chance that you may need a blood transfusion because your heart is trying to replace the blood that you lost, but because you lost so much, it's working really hard. So I said, okay, let's just go ahead and do the surgery. It's a DNC. So they put you under and they like take a suction or a scraper or something and they clean you out basically. Um, but it's painful, like if you're awake, so that's why they put you under. So they're like, we need to get you up to the OR like as soon as possible. So if you have anybody who who can watch your baby, they need to get up here now before you continue to lose blood. So I call my grandma. She gets up there. She's watching the baby. They're prepping the OR for me, and I'm like still bleeding, but I'm like stationary. I'm not moving, so it's kind of like all contained. They take me up to the OR. It's like a 15-minute surgery. It's not like nothing too crazy. They put me under. I don't even remember freaking going to sleep, but I do remember waking up, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's over. You're done already. And I was like, yeah, you're all done. Blah 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 blah. Mind you, like I didn't tear with her. I had something called like a skid mark where like if you scrape your knee, you have like a skid mark, but there's not like a tear. So I had that, but it kind of like healed. They put one stitch in there for it, but the DNC, like they had to like it reopened essentially. So it's like I had to like re-heal again. So I could kind of feel that, but otherwise I felt pretty fine. Um, so they were trying to watch my blood pressure because, or heart rate, one of them, because they wanted to see like, hey, does she need a blood transfusion? Because she did lose a lot of blood prior, but everything went down back to normal after about like 20, 30 minutes. And I was able to use the bathroom. I was able to get up and walk. I was able to go home right after that. Um, because I was under anesthesia, I could not feed my baby any breast milk for like 24 hours. And my grandma stayed overnight with me here because of the anesthesia, just to make sure like I was okay and like I was moving around normally and make sure that baby's fine too. Um, but after that, I felt normal, like how I usually feel when I have a baby. Like I could move around, I could like bend down, I could like move like normal. So I knew like, okay, this is the problem is fixed. I don't have that issue anymore. And I healed naturally after that. I continued to bleed for probably like another week. Um, yeah, I think around 3 weeks I stopped bleeding altogether. And I felt better and I was able to move around and things have been going pretty well postpartum since then. And now, so all that happened in July. My baby was born July 5th. I was in the hospital getting surgery it wasn't July 10th. It was July 15th. Yeah, so 10 days later. Um, and towards the end of June, sorry, at the end of July, I stopped bleeding. And now it is like mid-August and we're chilling. She is 5 weeks. She'll be 6 weeks on Sunday, which means I'll be 6 weeks postpartum on Sunday. I did have my 2 week postpartum appointment after that, and I told my OB about the the hospital visit and the fact that like the doctors did not did not deliver all of my placenta, and like I could tell like the doctors and the nurses at the hospital I went to, not the one I delivered at, the one I went to for the surgery that's close to me, they were all like pretty upset. Um, and not to make this like a racial thing or anything like that, but they were kind of just like, we just hope this isn't a case of um, like negligence, medical negligence because of your color. Because the hospital I delivered at is predominantly white. The people who live there predominantly white. Uh, what? Are you trying to talk to mommy? Oh, that's my baby. Yeah. Oh, he's sleepy. Sleepy already. Um. Yeah, so they were kind of upset about that. I was also upset about that. People in my personal life were pretty upset about that too because, okay, sorry, my alarm went off. I literally could have like lost my life. Um, and keeping your placenta in you for too long is dangerous. Like you could develop like all types of different issues. Oh my god, all different types of issues. So that was really dangerous for a lot of reasons. And the doctor said had I not gone to the hospital when I did, like it things could have gotten worse for me. So thank God I got to the hospital when I did. Thank God everything went well when I did. I had a friend of mine. I called a friend of mine and we prayed on the phone together before my surgery. And yeah, everything went well. He called and checked up on me after that as well. And what? He's just pooping. Anyway, um, yeah, everything since then has been good. And I just kind of want to share my labor and delivery story while it was still fresh in my mind before I forgot everything that happened because we both gonna be 6 weeks. But yeah, when I went to my 2 week OB appointment or postpartum appointment, the doctor was very apologetic. And I'm going on my 6 week next week. So we'll see what comes from that. But that was just like a lot. But I'm not gonna take up too much more of your time because it's 10:51 and I do have to go. Um, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the story time. If you did, like the live, leave a comment and things like that. Share it, do all the YouTube things, and prayerfully, I will have an upload on the channel soon. Um, so you'll see me again soon, hopefully. But yeah, thanks for watching and listening and interacting. I really appreciate it. Again, here's my baby. Here's what I created. Oh, okay. She don't like that. We're her daddy. And yeah, until next time, y'all. Bye.